Hello. So I read like a lot. And some books touch me in a way that I don't expect them to. And I'm not going to say some, a lot of them do. Now, what I decided to do is a different type of segment where I pick one book and just sit and unpack it. And that's where I came up with the name of calling it Unpacking My Books and Soul. And that is just basically, like I said, a book that I have read that has touched me. And I got to sit and I got to talk about it. I mean, I talk about it with other people, but I got to tell you guys how I feel and hope this will help you to read the book. So on my very first episode of Unpacking My Books and Soul, I will be doing none other than Love's Hope, the 4-letter word series, book 2 by author Lashaun. Like, I'm such a fan of hers, and I don't care what she's dropped, I'm buying. And this book did not disappoint. So I'm going to read the synopsis, and then I'm going to get into it. Alrighty, so after a relationship left her a little broken, Hope Givens vows to never let another man have control over her life, and she focuses on putting herself first. The ambitions of marriage, kids, and lifelong relationships isn't in the cards for her. So she sticks to keeping men around long enough to fulfill her needs. But then he comes along. Maverick Martin's unconventional upbringing with his father makes him well versed in not settling in one place for too long. Besides the uncle who taken him in at the age of 11, his limited experience with relationships can be summed up as brief, fleeting interactions that make it easy for him to walk away. Years of that lifestyle lead to a sense of satisfaction until he runs into her. After two people not looking for anything permanent share an explosive night, moving on is easier said than done. When the temptation gets too strong to resist, they settle on a no-strings arrangement, believing it's the perfect solution. But unanticipated emotion muddies the water and a surprise tilts their world on its axis, causing the bonds of their relationship to be tested, leaving them both wondering if it's possible to not let the past rule their present. So, let's unpack this book. Now, this book is about Hope Givens and Maverick Martin. Now, Hope was introduced in book 1 of and let me get the series again because I did say it in the introduction, but in the 4-letter word series book, Love's Truth. Hope is Truth's sister. So she was the sister, and I'm kind of glad she got a book because, one, you wondering why she don't want to be in a relationship, and that was my whole big thing. So you guys, like, I got, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pages of notes from this book. That's just how much it was, like how much it touched me. And it's just like I have to unpack a lot of the stuff from the book. So Hope only wanted sex with no relationships. So she had this guy, Chauncey, that she kept on a back burner, and kind of at the beginning she brought him back, but he wasn't satisfying her. So you wonder, why would you keep somebody around who's not satisfying you? But when she get with her sister-in-law, her best friend, and her other friends, they let her know, especially her best friend Winnie. I hope Winnie get a book. I did see online that she said Winnie's not talking to her, but Winnie needs a book because, like, Winnie is funny. She's the best friend. Like, she put them bitches in their place. So Winnie needs a book. Okay, so when I talked about Chauncey, Hope finally decided to call it quits with him. But Chauncey was not going out like that. Like, he kept on popping up, kept on just like thinking, oh, you'll be back. You ain't nothing without me. Nigga, she said you had RA dick. So that means she's done with you. Like, sir, there's nothing else she can do with you. You wasn't satisfying her. Because I feel like if you was, she probably would have been in a relationship with you. So no, you wasn't doing anything. Now, let's go to Maverick. Maverick was raised with his uncle since the age of 11. Okay. And it does say that in the book. And I like how Lashaun put in a chapter introducing Maverick and how he came to live with his uncle at the age of 11. His father wasn't shit. So he didn't believe in relationships, and this is Maverick. He didn't believe in relationships because he always was on the move as a child with his father. Now, in the book, she does give you a backstory of how he ended up with his father and where his mother was. And there was a scene in a book that touched me so much with how he felt about his mother. So I'm kind of glad, like, again, that Lashaun put that in. That's why I said it was so much to unpack, because it was funny parts in his book. It was parts that you can relate to. There was a little sad parts. Like, it was just so much in this book. Okay, so Hope and Maverick met one night. Hope's job was having a party, and she was kind of getting tired of it, getting bored with it. So she walked out and went to the hotel bar. And that's where she met Maverick. Now, when she saw Maverick, she was like, oh, I want him. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So she went, hit on him. He slid her his black key card to his room and said, if you ready, come join me. And did she? And had the best sex of her life. He turned her out. Like, but not even that. She turned him out because she couldn't get him out of her mind, and he couldn't get her out of his mind. So they were like really into liking each other. So weeks after they hooked up, they ended up finding out that they were working together. So that was like maybe a week after they hooked up, they started working together. But then weeks after they started working together, like I said, they couldn't get each other out their minds. So Hope popped up on his ass and was like, I'm here. Because she texted him and said, I want to see you. And he said, make it happen. So she made it happen. Again, the best night of her life was sex. Next morning, my man said, what you want? What you gonna do? Like, what are we gonna do? So she said, let's make this a casual thing, and all I ask is that you be honest. And he said, all I ask is for exclusivity. I mean, hey, I'm getting good, and all I'm gonna do is just do it to you. I'm fine with that. Got you. So that happened. So before, and I kind of skipped ahead, but before they decided to have their night, they went out as like co-workers. So Chauncey was there, and so was Hope and Winnie. Winnie and Hope are best friends, but they're also, Winnie is Capri's older sister. So basically they went out. Hope had a good time. She got drunk, but Chauncey, come to find out later, he made a, observation of Hope and Maverick, but he also said something that Maverick didn't like. So when she needed to go home, he took her home, and that's how they ended up with their bomb night, and then they decided to have a casual relationship. All right, but that casual relationship turned into so much more, because it went from them supposed to just be hooking up to the point that he was with her all the time, she was with him, they was always spending time with each other. So that made their feelings grow more for each other. But you can tell whose feelings were stronger than the others. Like, you can definitely tell it. Now, what kind of threw me for a loop in this book is when Hope's past showed up. So you thought only Chauncey was her problem. We found out why she wanted a no strings attached sex life, just sex, nothing else. And it was because when she was young, she met this old dude. And I'm just going to say this, so this is a little spoiler. She was 18. He was in his 40s. And he controlled her to the point for 2 years that she lost herself. And when she finally realized it, it took time for her to heal. So that's what made her not want to have the no strings attached sex. I mean, I kind of gave a little too much, but that's why she wanted, that's why she was like that. Okay. So that past showed up, and I was just like, oh, okay. I definitely understood why she was the way she was. But this dude right here, like, I wanted to like pull my hair up and climb in the book and help her, beat him up, something, invite him over, lay him down, put the pillow on his face, stuff like that. But I'm gonna just stop. Okay. So then the thing that I read in the description that said that something happened with them that turned their world on the axis. Yes, It definitely turned their world on the axis, but I think it helped them because by then Maverick was in love. She was in love too. Hope was definitely in love, but she was still scared. And I just felt like I thought that would make it change, but it didn't. And I definitely understood where Maverick came from and why he wanted to do what he did. So, what made him mad? And again, I would just say when I post this, there are some spoilers in it. Okay. And another spoiler, I'm going to try not to do too many. I think this might be my last spoiler. I said I think. But my last spoiler is she ended up pregnant. And I thought it was just like the cutest thing in the world. Like that whole scene when she told him she was pregnant. Like it was so cute. And I loved it. And he was like, I'm here for you. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to do it. And she said she wanted to keep it. And he was like, well, I guess we having a baby. Like, that's why I said he was in love. So just like I said, went forward. It was beautiful. But as she's getting along pregnant, she was hiding it. And when it finally came out, now let me take that back. She was hiding it from her co-workers, not her family. Everybody in the family knew. And they were happy. So what made him say, I'm over this, I don't know what to do is, when the pregnancy finally came out, someone assumed that it wasn't his. And he was not happy at all. I mean, I don't blame him. He should have did what he did. So I'm glad he did it because finally he put Chauncey in his place. And second of all, I felt like he needed to put his foot down with Hope because he gave Hope whatever she asked for. And I loved how he was with her. I loved how she was with him, but she was still scared. And he never at one point in their relationship gave her a reason for her to say, to doubt him, to definitely doubt him. She shouldn't have never doubted him because he never gave her a reason to doubt her. And I love the fact because he was like, haven't I always been honest with you? And she was like, no, because remember that time when we was in the shower and you was like, yes, that part, I stopped. But that was so cute, but it was so funny. Now, there were two scenes in this book that touched me so much that one of them I had a tear falling down. The other one, like I said, because I knew the story, I just liked the way she delivered it. And she, Hope finally told Maverick where she was coming from. But my favorite scene is when Hope came home and she was sitting in the car and she was like dying, crying, like boo-hoo crying. And Maverick went out and was like, what's wrong? And Hope was second guessing being a mom. I'm going to mess this up. I don't know what to do. Like, what if she doesn't love me? All this other things. And what I loved is what he told her. That's when he told her about his mother and what happened to his mother, when he shared how she would be the best mother in the world. But the fact of the matter is, he showed her and told her that he's there for her no matter what, and they will not fail at being the best parents they can possibly be. That touched me so much. Like, I loved Maverick from the beginning because he was straightforward, like he was funny. It just was so much about him. And then to read a book about a dude that chuckles or giggles, I thought it was kind of sexy. Like, ooh, you think I'm funny? You chuckle and you giggle at what certain things I say. I loved it. Oh my God. And her parents. So like he showed up at her house one night while her whole family was there. And I loved how her dad nicknamed him Ricky. And I thought it was funny. But he said he loved the sense of the family because all he was brought up with was his uncle. And his uncle, oh my God, Eugene Wilder, the Eugene Wilder. Like, I loved when he first met Hope and she was like, he just came in and she was like, he said, who are you? Who is you? And she said, I'm Hope. And she was like, who is you? He was like, oh, honey, you know who I am. I thought that was the best part ever. Like, it was so funny. But he had the best uncle in the world. And like I said, Maverick to me was simply just a gorgeous man. Like, I would love to see who she thinks, like, who is her muse for him, because he was described gorgeous, but he just was a gorgeous person from the inside. So even though he had a rough childhood from the age of 6 to 11, getting with his uncle, I think, was the best thing for him. Okay, so like I said, I jotted down some notes that I wanted to talk about, and I think I covered them all. I definitely covered them all. All I can say is, if you have not read this book, please pick up this book and read it. Love's Hope, book 2 in the 4-letter word series book. Okay, Lashaun is out here killing it, and I'm enjoying it. But this book to me was a 5-star read. It is on Amazon now. Definitely go out and get it, read it. You know, if you've read it, comment on my video. If you liked it, if you didn't like it. If you didn't like it, please tell me why you didn't like it, because I'm going to try to figure out why and just be like, okay, let's talk about it. But if you love this book, I don't care. Definitely let me know. If you have not read this book, I hope that this review helped you and made you want to read this book. So until next time, thank you for joining me on Unpacking My Books and Soul.